Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So I want to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sit back, relax, or try to relax. It's going to be probably a long video. A lot to talk about here. I'm going to cram everything into one video because I think I can't make separate videos. I have to put all this into one and, we talk about the players, the coaches. I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl at the end of this video a little bit too, and things I did see. I rewatched the game. I watched a lot of Brian Baldy videos and some other things like that, which are very interesting. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we lost the game. I'm not making excuses, but as a content creator, I just want to give my input on just everything that has happened. Whether you're upset, angry, I totally respect it, and I totally get it. I woke up feeling very crappy this morning, and it's really tough to lose a big game like that and to really give the game away like that. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. But let's get into all the Eagles updates. It's going to be a lot of stuff here, so I want to get through everything as much as I possibly can. So let's do it up.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
So, to get right into things, we were talking about the coaching staff. We talked about everything, and what's going to happen. What are the updates? What are the moves the Eagles trying to do right now? First of all, we talk about Shane Steichen. It looks like as of right now, he's flying to Indianapolis, and it looks like he's finalizing the hiring. Shane Steichen will not be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles going into the 2023 offseason, or the season in general. Okay, so fans are happy, sad. There's a lot I could say about it. Number one, I think when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, and I feel like you really have to expand this offense. I feel like you're not going to get away with an RPO system for years and years and years when you have this guy on your roster. I think they need to expand. I think they need to do different things with Jalen Hurts. I think they need to expand the playbook and get out of this. I'm not saying get out of the RPO system, the read options, whatever the case may be, but I think they need to try to, as Jalen Hurts played so well, they need to try to extend what he can do, and I think he does, more different things. Even watching the Super Bowl with some of these, you picked your poison with these run designs with Jalen Hurts. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I feel like they have to do more with this offense, and Shane not being here might help that. So the rumors right now is that the Eagles are going to promote. They're going to promote the QB coach, Brian Johnson, to OC, which Brian Johnson has been an OC before. He was an OC at Florida, so he's known Jalen Hurts his whole life. The one thing I wanted to happen this offseason, going into this offseason, whether it was a win or a loss from this Super Bowl, was to keep Brian Johnson and Jalen Hurts together. Johnson's known Hurts since he was a kid pretty much, and has known his career, and I think they're very good together. I think he's done a great job with him. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is doing a lot of work himself in the off seasons, but Johnson knows what he's doing with Jalen Hurts, and I think that's the good matchup that we really want. There was a lot of rumors about Jeff Stoughton becoming the OC this year. Obviously, why would he become the OC? He's a run game coordinator, offensive line coach, but does he know anything about the passing game? Can he coach an actual passing game type? Can he do that? So I think as what's going to happen now, it's not official yet, but I think the plan right now is to move Brian Johnson to OC, which I'm not really mad at all. I want to see what Brian Johnson brings to the table with this offense, and I think it would be good for Hurts and, to have that bond that he has with him, and see how different they can expand this playbook a little bit for Hurts as well. So that's the news on Steichen. Steichen is 100% gone. He's finalizing a deal going to Indianapolis. Sounds like it's already done, so look for that news in the next couple to few days, maybe the end of the week, so we'll see. Now, the issue with all the Eagle fans right now is Jonathan Gannon, okay? Gannon did have his interview with the Arizona Cardinals for the head coaching job. This came out actually the day of the Super Bowl or the day before. I think it was the day of the Super Bowl early in the day. That after the NFC Championship, I think it was the NFC Championship game when Gannon said, "Oh, I'm staying. I'm going to be staying in Philadelphia. And we were feeling really good about it. And then after watching the Super Bowl and what he did in the second half, it was like really left a bad taste in our mouths after that. So not only did that news pop up, then new news has rose up that Nick Sirianni is trying to stop Jonathan Gannon from going to another team to be the head coach. He's trying to stop him from finalizing this deal with Arizona. I don't want Nick Sirianni to become the villain, okay? When all this started, when we got Nick Sirianni as our head coach and got both our brand new coordinators, Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman hired Nick. Nick hired his own coaching staff. This isn't on the front office with these coordinators. This is all on Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni thinks very highly of Jonathan Gannon and has defended him all year and knows behind the scenes that Eagles fans have been really crucifying Jonathan Gannon during the season on certain things that he does with this passive defense, letting teams get back into these football games. And, as much as we have 14 wins for the year, you go into that Super Bowl game and look like that in the second half, no adjustments, playing scared, looking like you have no idea what's going on, getting burnt on the same play for touchdowns twice. It's kind of an eye-opener. And Nick Sirianni, and I hope this isn't the case, but Nick Sirianni is likely looking at this and saying, well, he shouldn't be fired after a Super Bowl loss because he had such a great year. But don't let that overshadow, what he's done the whole entire year. But how can I sit here to give Gannon another chance after what I just seen? So if we have a good season next year, we get to the Super Bowl again, and we're going to be afraid of this happening. So it's going to be very interesting what happens here, but I don't want Nick Sirianni to become the villain of this coaching staff that's going to be too attached, too emotional towards coaches. And I think he becomes too emotional. It's like a family. I get it, but business is business. Is he the right guy for the job? So that is the news from Albert Breer coming out the other day, is that Nick is trying to stop Gannon from going anywhere, whether it's giving him more money, I don't know what it is, but I know if he comes back to the Philadelphia Eagles, it's not going to sit well with a lot of fans. It didn't really sit well with me what happened in the second half of that game. If the defense at least made a stop or at least showed some fight, we lost fair and square regardless, but to literally not show up and your players just looked god-awful. What happened on the sideline? Did he reprimand his players? Did he yell at his players? I saw nothing on Jonathan Gannon. I've already watched the game again. I saw nothing on Jonathan Gannon where he at least got into their heads a little bit. The momentum it just switched to the other side in the second half. There's no doubt about it. So that's the news with Jonathan Gannon right now. I hope he takes the Arizona Cardinals job. Part of me is like, yes, he had a good year, but I'm like, that second half really tore me up inside. It tore me up. All that hard work, and you literally you can't put that much pressure on your offense just playing like that, and you got to put it all on Jalen Hurts and all on Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts proved it. And Jalen Hurts, when the defense put pressure on Jalen Hurts in that offense, they got the job done. The defense just couldn't get it done, and that's just the truth to it all. That's the news on Jonathan Gannon. I hope he signs with Arizona. I think we need a reputation with a defensive coordinator. We need someone that's been around a long time. We can't wait another few years with Jonathan Gannon because you're wasting this roster. You're wasting this, what this quarterback is doing with the weapons that he has right now, all the weapons that he has right now in this offense. You're wasting valuable time. I don't want Denard Wilson, the cornerback coach. I don't want him to be the next defensive coordinator because if Gannon's not here and Denard Wilson was Gannon's right-hand man, and I don't want him to be promoted from within. I'm really just not into signing another first-year defensive coordinator to see what he could do, unless it's somebody that's, that we know that's going to be aggressive. I don't know. Will they sign, will Lovie Smith come to the I don't know. I mean, I really don't know who else is really available at this point. Vic Fangio signed with Miami to a lot of money, one of the highest paid defensive coordinators. But interesting enough, here's the next news that might blow your mind. And shout out to Tone DeShields, Eagles content creator. I'll leave his link in the description below. Definitely sub him up because he covers the Eagles. He covers everything with the Philadelphia Eagles, so definitely sub him up. Like I said, link in the description. More news came out, and this was, I think, the day of the Super Bowl before. And this was Vic Fangio apparently, because Vic Fangio was the consultant for the Philadelphia Eagles. Vic Fangio apparently signed a 2-week contract with the Eagles. Okay, a 2-week contract. I guess his contract, was up as a consultant after the second playoff game, I guess, and they want to re-sign him for another 2 weeks, for 2 weeks' pay, to help them out with preparation for the Super Bowl. Okay, after the divisional round, after the NFC Championship round, they re-signed Fangio for 2 weeks to help this defense. Now I'm sitting here thinking, was it Gannon's fault? Now I'm really confused. Did Fangio have a huge part in these changes in this game of the Super Bowl? Did he have, that's what I'm really confused about now. This was for prepping for that game. Did Fangio have more say and got in the way of Gannon, and Gannon couldn't run the defense he wanted to run? I mean, I don't know what the answer is here, but this is really interesting. I made a mistake on the Philly shakedown last night because I read this wrong. I said that this happened during the divisional and NFC Championship game, and then that was it. And then Gannon took over the play calling duties or the prep for the Super Bowl for those 2 weeks. But I read that wrong. Vic Fangio was signed for 2 weeks, because obviously we had the bye week, another week in preparation for the Super Bowl. We had 2 weeks. So did Vic Fangio get in the way of Gannon? And was the preparation horrible? Was it Gannon's fault? I have no answer. This just really bothered me even more going into that now finding out what actually happened. If this is even true. Okay, this is rumor. I don't know. This actually, no, it's not rumor. It's from Adam Schefter. It's from actually Adam Schefter that put this out, which is kind of nuts. So I don't know what to think. I really don't. Mad at Gannon for what he did in the second half of that game, and then finding out that now Vic Fangio signed a 2-week contract to help Gannon prepare for the Super Bowl. And if this was Vic Fangio's hands all over it, and I wish we could know the truth if Gannon didn't have much say and how to prepare. I don't know. But it's definitely an eye-opener. It's something we definitely have to talk about. Maybe that's why Nick wants him back, because he'll have a fresh start on his own. Because Vic Fangio didn't play, the whole entire year. Just think about it. If Vic Fangio was a consultant the whole entire year and teams were coming back into games, Eagles were being passive on defense, and we were almost losing games because we weren't stepping our feet on these teams' necks and keeping our foot there. We weren't doing that this season with a lot of games. We were letting teams back. We were just wasting time. We were tackling. We were playing prevent. We were sitting back and waiting, to waste time in these games at the end of these games, to really clock management, waste as much time, tackle them inside, let them kick field goals. So I'm starting to think now that maybe Fangio was maybe one of the big problems, and Vic Fangio has a really good reputation as a defensive coordinator. Did he ruin this defense? Did he not treat this defense like it was supposed to be? I don't know. You guys let me know about this, because it's really important. This one really, really killed me. But shout out to Tone DeShields for this news and putting this out the other day. I'll have his link in the description for his channel. Definitely sub him up if you guys haven't. The next question I have is, do we need to upgrade our number 3 receiver? I mean, do we need to? Here's the thing, okay? Quez, the game against Washington, week 7, week 8, whatever it was, okay? It was week 7 or 8. I think it was week 8, and caught a big ball. Obviously, the face mask to Dallas Goedert, which caused the fumble, which they didn't call, and then this call where Quez Watkins makes a big catch and he gets back up, not knowing guys are around him, and they punch the ball out, and we had 2 opportunities missed to win that game and still be undefeated. Then he goes into the Colts game. He kind of revives himself. He gets a touchdown. And then they started to stray away from Quez Watkins at the end of the year. Zach Pascal got more opportunity, not only in the passing game, but he became more of a blocker. Like the Eagles would have rather used 2 tight end sets or using Zach Pascal in the slot or outside, however they want to line these guys up to help with this offense. Okay? They got Devontae Smith more involved when Quez wasn't around. They attacked more with Devontae Smith. He was usually the guy on the comeback routes, the short routes. They never attacked him and A.J. Brown at the same time against defenses, and I think this definitely helped that. And obviously Goddard being out definitely helped that as well because they needed more out of their wide receivers. But you go into the Super Bowl, and Quez caught that short little catch. I think it was for a first down or less than a first down, like 8-9 yards, whatever it was. And then Jalen Hurts throws an absolutely amazing pass. Quez Watkins slows down on his route, and if he kept running with his speed, he would have got it. And that would have been a huge change in the game as well. Totally missed that catch. Concentration was horrible, right in his hands, and it went right through. Do the Eagles need to change this position? The only good thing about Quez Watkins being here just for one more year on contract going into this this new season, is that he's very cheap. Guys, he's a 6th, 7th round pick, whatever was he, a 6th round pick, whatever it was. I mean, he's dirt cheap going into next year. So I don't think the Eagles will get rid of him, but I feel like they're going to bring in somebody else to compete with him for that number 3 wide receiver spot. I think maybe they need to make a change here. I don't know. But the thing is, like, you throw Quez into a game where he barely had opportunities, really, like, he hasn't had opportunities since we lost against Washington. And, we had that one touchdown against the Colts. Like, he really didn't have opportunity after that once they put Zach Pascal in. And then they got him more involved in the Super Bowl. It's just you got to make that catch. And because he's not consistently playing in games, that's what you're going to get. And look, it's Quez's fault, but at the same time, he barely plays. And that was a huge issue. Do I think it's going to be hard for Howie to find a number 3 receiver for this team? Definitely not. If Howie wants to go all in and he really wants to get a good number 3, not saying paying a lot of money, a crazy amount of money, but somebody that's, maybe a little bit older, maybe, who knows who they can get that could put in the slot, but I think they could definitely do better at this position. If the Eagles are going to keep Zach Pascal next year, just say they re-sign him, and this is what it's going to turn into. Quez just, how he was in the beginning of the year, the big, go route, in the Vikings game, big touchdown in the Vikings game. Like, he was playing really well. And then they kind of phased him out of this offense later in the season for weeks. Zach Pascal, and look, Zach Pascal's great. I think he's reliable. I think he could do a lot more because his blocking's really good. Obviously, he had a penalty in the Super Bowl, but he's been very, very reliable. And obviously played with, he was, when Nick Sirianni was the offensive coordinator, Pascal was, a number 1 to a number 2 to a number 3. He played all spots at receiver, and he's a veteran guy, and he got paid very little money. It was like $1 million for the year. It wasn't much. So the Eagles could re-sign him again as for depth for this team again going to next year. But should the Eagles make a change at this position? I think they should give Quez competition. I don't think any players going into this offseason should not be safe when it comes to their position at all. I think if they want to make a change, they give him some competition going into next year and sign somebody, bring him on the roster, and then Quez is going to say, oh, damn, I got to step up my game and stay consistent. Quez has got the speed. Quez has got the tools to get it done, but the problem is when you don't play him for weeks and you're relying on him to make that big catch and he doesn't get it, how much blame can I put on Quez? It's like you're using a guy you haven't used in weeks. So sometimes it just makes no sense to do something like this. So that's what, the thing on Quez Watkins, and I want to know what you guys think about that. Now, obviously, with Jalen Hurts, it was a tough press conference to watch. He was very upset, and who wouldn't, right? He was really trying to hold everything in. He can control whatever he can control. This game is not because of Jalen Hurts. This loss is not because of Jalen Hurts. The fumble is the only thing I could really complain about, but I got to say, guys, he can't, over 300 passing yards, 3-4 touchdowns, whatever it was. He had a monster game. He had a monster game statistically, but there were just some mistakes that happened. You can't go to a QB sneak. Isaac Seumalo goes off sides, and it turns into a scoop and score. Literally a scoop and score, like no joke. You know what I mean? Even though I could probably question, that whole entire thing because, apparently there was some news that came out that he was face masked when he lost the ball. Jalen Hurts switched hands, and then he switched hands with the football. He didn't get stripped of it. Maybe that helped the strip. I don't know. But like I said, it's not excuses. It's just things that are starting to pop up now. And, it's hard to see in real-time motion when you're watching it. Of course, they wouldn't show that on TV. They never really showed that for what I could see when I was watching. But, we know that I'm proud of Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? We got our quarterback, guys. I'm so happy we have our quarterback, and what he did this year was absolutely amazing. Breaking records. It's just how much he makes this offense, how much he makes this team better with his leadership. And obviously, Nick Sirianni started this culture, and then Jalen Hurts getting thrown into this offense, beginning of the year, as a second-year full-time starter, it made a huge difference. And Hurts, between last year to this year, the offseason he had, he worked his tail off. And I can't put this game on Jalen Hurts when your defense literally was a no-show in the second half to put pressure more on this quarterback. He tied this game up 35-35 with a 2-point conversion. You know what I mean? And then your defense gets on the field and you literally say to yourself, Gannon has an opportunity to do something here and get this done. And he couldn't get it done. I could blame the stupid fumble on Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts doesn't fumble, easy scoop and score, bounced perfectly into one of the Kansas City Chiefs players to score in easy 6 points. It's just I'm just a loss for words with it, man. Like, I can't put too much on that play. That doesn't happen, guys. We probably win the game, but Hurts doesn't lose the ball like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't lose the ball for a touchdown like that. That's the first time it was a scoop and score like that. That's never happened this year. He's fumbled the ball this year, but it's never been scoop and scored like that easily. So I can't put too much on Jalen Hurts to say he answered the call whenever the Eagles were. He could have broken down. He could have folded after that. He could have looked like crap after that. He could have thrown 3 picks after that, but he didn't. Okay, you're not going to find a mentality in a quarterback like this ever. And for the people that are blaming this game on Jalen Hurts, you guys are pieces of crap because if you don't see it, you got to believe what you see, man. You know what I mean? You got to believe what you see. If you were to tell me that the Eagles are going to put up 35 points in this game, I would have said we're going to win this game. Like that's how crazy it is. People need to relax and chill out because without Jalen Hurts, we wouldn't have the season we had. We have our future. Thank God we have a quarterback. Thank God he proved everybody wrong. Thank God he proved everybody wrong, including me, because I didn't think he was going to have a season like this. Yes. I didn't hate the player. I hated where he was picked, and we just paid Carson Wentz. So, I didn't know what to think of what was going to happen. His mentality, his work ethic, his poise. It's just no other quarterback has this. Nobody has this. He could have folded in that game easily after that fumble. He could have put his head down and say, oh, man, and just messed up the rest of this game, and he didn't. He came back and he scored and he scored and he scored and he scored. This defense is where I have the issue. What did Gannon do to get these guys prepared, and what adjustments did you make? It's just ridiculous. But very happy with Jalen Hurts. Proud of Jalen Hurts. He got us to the game we needed to get to, but we couldn't get it done. And this involves everybody. It's not just Jalen Hurts. It's everybody. But I'm very happy of what he's done. And there was a lot of things that happened in this game. and this is my ending closing statements on what happened in this game. We can go over a million different things, okay? I watched a lot of tape. Brian Baldy put out a lot of tape. Guys, that field was so bad, even Patrick Mahomes was slipping just from taking one step from a snap. I mean, the field was that bad. I literally saw, Brian Baldy put up like 10 videos of the whole entire Eagles defensive line literally slipping the whole game. I mean, it was literally impossible to get. Look, that was to their advantage. Their line kicked our butt, and that was it. We got to Mahomes maybe 2 times where we could have had sacks, couldn't get it done. Jordan Davis had his hands on him, and then he threw the ball for a completion. That was that low ball. I think it was the Travis Kelce. It was a really good catch, but that field was horrible. Even Jordan Mailata even said that it was like a water slide. That's how I watched. And then Brian Baldy put, because he has like this different app where you can watch plays at certain angles. He showed the whole entire line. As soon as like Hassan Reddick turns, as soon as you start turning around a player, he slid. Then Sweat slid. Then Graham had to slid. Then he reset himself. Like, once that happens, you're out of the play. You're done. Like, you're blocked. You're done. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. I was wondering why we couldn't get to him. I really was wondering why. And I'm not saying that's the full excuse about it, but it definitely had a big part in this game. That there is no doubt about it. I don't care how many people in the comment section say it's an excuse or whatnot, but we got beat fair and square. And we had to deal. They dealt with the same thing we did. They dealt with the same field that we were playing on. Doesn't matter. We lost fair and square. It is what it is. I'm not one of those fans that's saying the game was rigged and blah blah blah. Like, I don't believe in any of that stuff. Yeah, maybe there's politics when it comes to calls. I get it. You know, if I was to say that there was one call I thought it was BS, it was the Bradbury call. As much as, yes, he was holding, they called it, but how many cornerbacks get away with that call in big games? A lot of them do. And even the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Bengals, and they did the same exact thing, and there was actual video of 2 calls that were the same. They didn't call that one in the Bengals. Bengals DB was on one of the Rams wide receivers, deflected the pass when his hand had a pinch of the jersey, an arm around the body, and deflected the ball when it got close, and got away with it. It's all politics, guys. It's all politics, and that's just what it is. That ended the game right there. If it didn't happen, it would have been a 3 and out. They would have kicked the field goal. They would have been up. They would have only been up 3 points. Eagles would have a minute and a half with 1-2 timeouts left in the rest of the game. So this picture that you see right here was the same exact play that Kansas City got 2 touchdowns on us. The Jaguars did this to us earlier in the season. They did that fake jet motion. As soon as the guy goes in motion, Slay's like, oh, and he just goes that direction, not even watching the guy, and then he goes right, and he fakes going in motion, comes right back, wide open. The guy at the top of the screen right there getting thrown the ball. That was a touchdown that game. KC did their homework on us. Simple as that. That was a weakness in our play, and they got away with it twice. 2 times. One on Maddox, one on Slay. Really pissed me off. Like, to get beat by the same on 2 touchdowns by the same play, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like I said, as a content creator, I have to talk about the extra stuff that happened in this game that I didn't have time to talk about yesterday. But yeah, the field was horrible. I don't know how you get prepared and you figure out a location to play a Super Bowl, and you know that this is a problem, and I guess it just made the game more interesting, I guess. I don't know. You saw the picture of how many players had to swap out their cleats because there was at least 14 pairs of cleats that were sitting on the sideline in a pile because everyone was switching their damn cleats for more tread. You know, I think that was part of it. Brian Baldy's like, look at the field. Look at all these guys slipping. The whole defensive line for the Eagles was literally slipping. They slipped. Like, once that happened, that was it. You were getting blocked. You were out of the play. There was no chance back. So that's what I got to say about that. And lastly, special teams coordinator Michael Clay's got to go. There's a lot more I could talk about, guys, but when it comes down to coaching, we already talked about both coordinators already, what's going to happen, but Michael Clay, still part of that Chip Kelly tree from a long time ago. He was with Chip Kelly when he went to the 49ers. I don't like him at all. I don't think he has the right guys on special teams. Covey actually had a couple good returns. He had one to the 40-something yard line. He played pretty good, but Covey needs more work. He's too raw. He needs another offseason. He needs to be they need to put him in competition. Where's Devin Allen? Where has that been all year? I mean, they've really given no other punt return guys. They really haven't given anybody else a chance besides Covey. And I was a big Covey fan this last offseason that he was going to do big things for us for special teams, but I was wrong because I'm allowed to be wrong. I could be wrong about a lot of things. I mean, I think I have an opinion. That's it. If it's right, it's right. Wrong, it's wrong. It is what it is. But Michael Clay has been just, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. The Eagles need to go out on the waiver wire in the offseason and just look out for these speed guys that could do a lot for our punt return game. We don't know if Boston Scott's coming back for kick returns. We have no idea. He's going to be a free agent after this year again. Okay, Eagles got him on the waiver wire. They actually put him on the waiver wire and he wasn't claimed, and the Eagles picked him up for $1 million for the year. That was it. And I think it was well money spent. Didn't do a bad job on kick returns, and it's just got to get better. The blocking's got to get better on special teams. It's just not good. It's not good at all. We've had issues on field goal as well. We had a couple of them, touched, blocked. I think this year, if I could remember. So it's got to get better. Special teams is a third part of the game that really no one cares about. But let me tell you, when it works and you put your offense in good position, it works. And look what they did with Kadarius Toney against us in that damn game. I mean, bad kick by Aaron Sipos, runs all the way down inside the 5. Just ridiculous. Kern's got to go. Obviously, Sipos is definitely got to go. Okay, after the 2021 season, they signed Sipos, or I think it was after 2020. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember how long he's been on the team, but those punters are not working out. Not working out. Jake Elliott was perfect. Down the middle, extra points, field goals. He was fine. Jake Elliott is great. But yeah, Michael Clay is definitely got to go. So. There's a lot more we can go over. I don't want to make this video any longer. It's been 31 minutes. So I could talk about this for there's more things I could talk about right now with certain players and what's going to happen. Trust me. Oh, and lastly, actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to wait till the next video I do tomorrow. And we'll talk about that news. I was just thinking about something just now. But other than that, guys, sorry to take up all your time. If you made it this far in the video, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you guys haven't either. It really does help out. And I appreciate everybody that supported me throughout the 2022 to 2023 season of this year. It's been a fun ride, but it didn't end well. So, hope to see you guys soon. We'll be back with more updates tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic day. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.